Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. So I have my crystal ball off to the side. I will be scrying throughout this message. If you're new to my channel, my readings are a little different. And if you're returning, welcome back. You know how we do. If it doesn't resonate with you, if you're forcing the story to fit, arguing with it in any way, just leave it behind for the people who it's meant for. So if you hear a bunch of noise, my puppies are in here and they're very spastic today. So they're just jumping around, jumping on each other. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's begin. Oh, real fast. Channel members, you have a reading that posted today, so definitely check that out. There is also a community post for the channel members for Magician's tier and higher. You do have a live with me the last Friday of the month. Definitely check that out for the details. And if you're part of the High Priestess tier, you guys have a Zoom coming up on the same day. So look at the community post, you'll get all the information. Okay. Taking a step aside and allowing spirit to pass through me. Opening up to receive information. Okay, right away, I'm seeing the Ace of Pentacle card. So a hand from the cloud that has the pentacle, and that pentacle is shifting. It's moving from like swords, wands, cups, swords, wands, but it's like every time it reaches pentacle, it pauses on the pentacle. And then I'm seeing it being extended as the hand that's offering the, not a cup, but a pentacle and the Four of Cups. This is interesting. This is telling me that I'm speaking to a collective that's about to be given an opportunity. Yeah, be given an opportunity or has recently received that opportunity. And this opportunity feels like it has the potential to be life-changing. Okay, so this potential may not be seen at first. It may start off as a small opportunity, but it has the potential to become a domino, setting off a chain reaction to something huge. So to unleash its potential, it feels like it's very important to not block it with the energy of self-doubt and skepticism. Okay. And now they're giving me symbols. So if you're new to my channel, the symbols don't mean that this is or isn't your reading. It just means that if the symbols resonate for you, pay extra attention. The first symbol is a dove. The second one is a catuaba tree. I think that's what it's called, a catuaba tree. And then I'm seeing someone drinking an Earl Grey, but as I'm looking into the cup, it's colored blue by like, what is that, pea flowers? Someone's changing the batteries in a remote right now. And lavender flowers. And then I'm feeling like a splinter in my finger. So someone that is fidgeting with like a splinter in their finger. Okay. So, okay, so, and then it just opened up. This opportunity is a form of divine intervention. That's how this is feeling to me. It's like, oh, interesting. I just got a song lyric in my head. And I know that that's not necessarily what the song lyric means, but there's an emphasis on two parts in the song lyric. So the song is actually a song, it's from a band called All Them Witches. And I don't remember the name of the song, but the lyric is something along the lines of, I'm becoming increasingly aware of the invisible plate. Oh, wait. No, I'm becoming increasingly aware of the spoon and the invisible plate and the feeding hand. So the feeding hand is what's standing out to me. I'm becoming increasingly aware of the feeding hand. So it's almost as though something's just being handed to us, but it's not that simple. There's some things that you have done inside your own energy that are causing this to take place. Interesting. Okay. For some of you, this opportunity is almost an answer to prayers, but this answer is coming in an unexpected way. And for others of you, it's because you've been working with your ancestors, your guides, possibly an archetype egregore of a deity. And I just heard help is on the way, do, 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 like with trumpets. For some of you, this has already happened recently. And others of you, this is something that is about to happen. And for some of you, you're going to know from this message that, okay, this is for me, because there will have been signs leading up to this. Interesting. Okay. Oh, this is merging into that energy of the membership reading I just posted earlier. Fascinating. Okay, so this boon or gift of intervention is directly related to the fact that this person, whoever I'm speaking to, you've decided to exhibit your authenticity and take up space. You've put yourself out there in some way, or you've decided to do the thing, or whatever it is. And so now there's some sort of divine intervention in the form of an opportunity that's coming in. This is a manifestation for somebody. Yeah, Eight of Cups. Again, when we have the Eight of Cups, we've left something behind. So for some of you, it feels a little bit like we've left behind the competition that we've had with ourselves, right? This can be self-doubt. Again, going back to with with this idea of the potential of this opportunity, it's going to be very important to make sure that the self-doubt stays in the past, that we don't wait for the shoe to drop or, seed it with that intention and that energy. The energy needs to be clear for this potential to actually work itself out. But we do seem to have released some sort of competition within ourselves, some sort of conflict within ourselves, maybe even a conflict in our external world somehow, and we had to leave that behind. When we have the Eight of Cups, this is the hero's journey, right? So someone, again, expressing that authenticity, allowing yourself to fully be yourself, allowing yourself to turn the volume up on yourself. This is one way that somebody has brought themselves in alignment with whatever this is. I just heard the time is right. And there's a lot of things wrapped up in that. For me, as I'm hearing that, it's not just about time. That's just the word that came through. It feels like you as a person, your energy is now right to receive whatever this is. We had to get this one last thing underway where we were okay being us, because this opportunity, this gift, it feels like a life change, this change of life could only be gotten once we stepped into ourself, right? Because it's something that has to do with ourself. So interesting. Okay. Yes. Oh, yesterday, the card from day before yesterday, if you happen to catch that reading, it was the Magician. So for some of you, this is going to resonate with you. If that reading resonated with you, we have the Nine of Swords. So in the past, what I'm seeing is that we were people who were very anxious. We had a lot of things to be anxious about, a lot of things that we were worried about. Our mind state was occupied constantly of things, the if, ands, buts, whens, should I, could I. And then here what we have done, we've done a lot of work regarding this. With the Eight of Pentacles, this may even be work related. For some of you, this is a business that's about to open up. What seems to be happening inside of our energy center, however, is, they're also saying another thing about this is someone's done the shadow work. Because of the shadow being cast here. Some of you may have realized that these anxieties, they were taking a twisted form, right? Because if we look at this is actually a person with a mask, but in the background it looks like a crow. So for some of you, the shadow that was cast by the events inside your life, they were taking on darker forms than they actually embodied. So for someone here, there's been a lot of work, a lot of self-work, a lot of work external to you as well, I feel, for many of you. And this is causing the Judgment card. This is the card that came out in the channel membership reading. So this is where we come back to life, right? This is an aspect of ourself that has been sleeping quite possibly for many lifetimes. So I know in this collective right now, there's a lot of people that are working on the witch wound. I knew that first because I did a reading about a week ago. I was told to hold that reading until the first week of April. So if you are somebody working on the witch wound, that reading might really resonate with you. It'll be out the first week of April. But this energy is one where we're learning to speak up, right? For some of you, you may have taken a vow of silence in a previous life, or you may have, any number of things could have happened. But we're starting to use our voice. We're starting to be our true self, right? For some of you, that can even extend into the physical vessel, right? Adorning it the way that you actually want to, rather than what you think is societally acceptable or acceptable by your family, for example. There's a lot of things that are wrapped up inside of this energy in context to this reading, where a new aspect that really an old aspect that has been dormant for many, many lifetimes is now coming back online. We're giving it the space to breathe. We're giving it the space to unfold. And so this is beautiful because someone here, you're being yourself, right? You're allowing your soul to be itself, to be its true signature. And this is really where we do step into the energy of the Magician. The Magician in history was often a very quirky character, right? They didn't care about the societal norms or the social standards. They could conform to them in order to wow people and dazzle people, because that is one of the aspects of the Magician archetype. But they also had the ability to fully be themselves and to kind of shock people as well, and to not really care. So there's this marching to the beat of your own drum. Someone here is learning how to do that for the first time in their life, or maybe the first time in a very long time. Again, I want to point this out too. With this card, what we have is exactly what I saw in the beginning. We have the Pentacle, right? Front and center. And then we have the sword, the wand, the cup, the sword, the wand, the cup. When we step into that energy of having worked with the emotions, with the willpower, with the mental aspects, which is represented by these three symbols, we are able to create beautiful things for ourselves, which is represented by the pentacle. In this way, we embody an aspect of the magician. The magician archetype doesn't always have to be somebody who works with unseen forces, though, typically that's what we associate with it. A person who's able to live their life, go out and create things because they've mastered their internal spaces. This is really what the magician is about. And so whoever this message is for, I'm seeing that you've done that, right? You've done that kind of work. For some of you, you're in the process of this work, but in the process of this work, you've allowed yourself to come through, especially in that voice space, saying the things that you need to say, saying what it is that you think in the appropriate times, right? Allowing yourself to be yourself, allowing yourself to write, allowing yourself to express freely. For some of you, this is something that was kind of bogged down by that shadow aspect for a very long time, and now you're learning to wield that sword, right? Here what we have is, again, we have this, is this the knight or the page? I can't remember. This is striking me as a page. We have the Page of Pentacles here. So this is the beginning of something beautiful for yourself. This pentacle grows. It grows from the page to the knight to the king, through the queen. But I always see the queen as kind of like the alchemical symbols. There's 4 that show up over and over in the tarot. I kind of see the page, the knight, and the king as the 3 elements, and the queen is really the byproduct, right? So there's something that's going on here. It's like some sort of divinely charged essence is being brought forward in this opportunity, and this is part of that divine intervention, right? For some of you, there may be something almost magical about this opportunity that's come about, or a magical experience follows the opportunity, because I keep being drawn in my mind to that page, or that Queen of Pentacles, as that 4th element. It's almost as though, yeah, I'm just going to say that there's something almost magical surrounding this opportunity. And that's how you're going to know that it is, in fact, the opportunity that's coming towards you. This might be a mind state that's reached after this opportunity. It might be an event that happens around the time that this opportunity appears. It may even be the way that the opportunity happens for some of you. And then we have the Death card, and I find this fascinating. The Death card being the next card, this is transformation, right? Death comes and he takes away the old order of things. And what he ushers in the Rider-Waite, there's a maiden here who isn't looking at him. She's got her hands by her side. She's not fighting, and she's kneeling. And what she represents is the maiden that's in the Strength card. If you follow my Major Arcana series, then you know that the maiden inside the Strength card is really the dawn. It's the sun at dawn, and this goes back to different archetypes from the Proto-Indo-European cultures. So what this means is that death is getting rid of the old order in order to allow a new way of being to emerge, right? So that new dawn inside of our life. And this is a message that's been coming up over and over around the spring equinox, that the sun is rising, right? If you've been watching my channel, you know that this keeps coming out inside of my readings. What's also been coming out is that Wheel of Fortune, that the energy is changing. So someone's life here, with this opportunity, with the accepting of this opportunity, but most importantly, with allowing the opportunity to live to its full potential before we crowd it with our biases and our fears and our insecurities. If we don't bog it down with those things, it allows the energy of this thing to grow, right? We make the right decisions to allow it to grow. We give it the breathing space that it needs, rather than trying to constrict and control things, which is what we do when we don't believe in something and when we have fear. This new opportunity has the potential to change the old order of your life. In other words, old patterns. And I don't feel that it's just our old patterns with this Judgment card. When we see the Judgment card, this implies generations, so lifetimes, right? This may even be something that it changes the way that our family story has gone. So for somebody here, this is massive. This is massive. And I feel that this reading is really going to stand out to people in the feed when this is meant for them. you know, I've been hearing from a lot of subscribers that they didn't even catch that reading, they didn't even catch that reading, but then when they caught it, it was the right time for them, right? And that's something that we're seeing a little bit more on a collective level. 5 years ago, you never heard people talking about that. And then this year, last year, you see it everywhere, right? All of us readers seem to be hip to it. So we're saying things like this reading will find you when it's meant for you, because that really seems to be what's happening. A lot of people's guides, a lot of people's souls, a lot of people's guidance, whatever you ascribe it to be, seems to be using things like platform algorithms to help navigate messages at their appropriate time. So somebody, whoever message this is, if this is appearing to you, you are about to experience a difference inside your life, but it is dependent upon the energy that you put into it. In other words, keeping your insecurities or keeping your fears or keeping your anxieties in the past, just like it's being shown here in the past, allowing yourself to conceive of beautiful new things for yourself and allowing the story to change. That thing that we allow, it first takes place with the sword, right? Just like this Ace of Pentacles that I saw, it was the sword, it was the wands, it was the cup. So our thoughts, our focus, and our emotion, our thoughts, our focus, and our emotion create the pentacle. And then it pauses on that pentacle. So you're being guided. There's a lot of sword energy here. You're being guided to allow yourself to conceive of something new. Some of you, you'll have no problem with that, right? Some of you I know in this collective that will click on this have been working on manifesting, have been working on clearing out your beliefs. I know that because of the Eight of Pentacles again. But if you allow yourself to conceive of beautiful, brand new things for yourself, whatever this potential is, again, it's like a divine intervention. Even if you don't find that you're able to release those feelings, there is something beautiful that's going to come about from this. It may not necessarily be life-changing, but it's still good, right? This isn't the last time this is going to happen for you, but it does seem to be being kicked off because someone has adopted some sort of new practice or some sort of new business. There's something new that we've brought in. I'm feeling it as somebody that's working with their ancestors, working with their guides now, working with like an archetype egregore of a deity, or even praying more, right? Somebody who's meditating more, somebody who's taking time out to sit in that stillness more. But when we do that, what we do is we align ourselves to the flow of things. The rest of our life, when we're anxious and we're worried and all this stuff, if you're still in that space, this is creating this chaos in that flow. And so what we find is that we make a lot of splashes, right? Not necessarily of the best kind. Someone here has, it does feel that most of you have navigated out of that energy into a much more calm space. And because of this calm space, it looks like you're wielding that telepathic energy, that psychic energy a little bit better so that you can experience this ending of the old and the rising of the new. Okay, I'm hearing cut this. And then this is what we have. We have the Emperor. This is the man who's in charge, right? So however you resonate, this is essentially being in control. Someone here has really mastered this fine balance where they're able to create things, where they're able to conquer things. I love that in this deck, it's funny because the Magician also, right? I brought this up the other day in my Magician reading, that this character really speaks to me of Odin, but so does the Emperor here. And the reason why is because this Emperor is actually missing an eye and he's got both the ravens on his shoulder. So this is really where we establish our dominance over a certain aspect of our life and we say, I'm showing up for it. And this is showing up to something in a new way where we're sort of mastering our thoughts and our feelings and our emotional spaces. He has this golden pomegranate. And right now that golden pomegranate is really speaking, well, in this one, they went with how most people describe it. It's actually a globe, but in the traditional Rider-Waite, people call it a golden globe. It's actually a pomegranate. That pomegranate, it always represents forbidden knowledge, right? Somebody who has the power over forbidden knowledge. A pomegranate also is deeply symbolic of our internal spaces. So this is being able to control the direction of our energy, right? Who are we in the current moment? We're always this amalgamation of our thoughts, our beliefs, and our emotions. And so someone here has learned how to become the emperor inside their own life, to embody that energy so that things can then begin to go in their favor. Again, that's not going to be for everybody, but for some of you, that's the energy you've stepped into. I feel that everybody who is in this collective, who is about to receive this opportunity, you're going to get closer to being in this Emperor energy here. Okay, let's see. For some of you, the reason why the Emperor is popping out is also because whatever this opportunity is, it's setting up your empire, your legacy. Yep. Yeah. So again, we have this repetition of message. We have dominus gloom. This is those anxieties, those fears, those worries. We have the alchemizing of those things, right? And then we have this he of the fiery sword, more sword energy. This is, again, control over that thought space. For some of you, there is cutting away of old things that's coming in this, again, with that death card as well. And what this is really implying, the whole message is wrapping up to say, this is the moment for some of you with this opportunity where you really get to see who you actually are. Sylvanus here has this beautiful sword that he's clutching to, and at the top of that sword is the heart. There is a writer who Ice Scribe Steph actually got me hip to. I can't remember his name right now. Of course, there's a French writer who he was an esotericist, and he said that we're led by two things. We're led by our oh goodness, what was it? Oh no, now I'm blanking. So maybe I'm not meant to say it. One of the things that he was saying that we're led by is our heart, right? Oh, our intellect and our heart. There we go. I got it. The intellect, again, bringing us into that sword energy, that very mercurial energy. And this person is clinging to their intellect, but what's actually guiding it is their heart. So it's an intellect guided by the heart. Someone here, you've learned how to fine tune that, right? How to balance that. You're not just kind of going every way that your feelings go and your emotions go day by day and where you want to go. You're understanding how to really sharpen that focus. This is where we become more stable, right? So some of you may be experiencing a little bit more mental stability, more emotional stability, a little bit more stability being reflected inside your life. But what's happening here is that there's this beautiful woman in here with this beautiful light crown, right? That's her divine essence, her true essence. And this sort of guide in the back is lifting that mask off of her so that she can shine in her truth, in her authenticity, and in the beauty that she possesses. So somebody here, there is a creative dynamic force that's inside of you, and you are slowly uncovering that creative dynamic force. And in the process of this, there is this sort of divine intervention in terms of an opportunity that's coming. Be a good steward of that, right? Don't take that opportunity and then place all these projections of negativity on it, right? Because we're always afraid of the future. Allow yourself to be reborn in a new way where you start to think of possibilities in the future, and you take these gifts and are appreciative and allow them to unfold, right? That's really the message that's coming through. Many of you are going to do that. Many of you are going to allow it to unfold to something beautiful, because I keep seeing that domino and that like chain reaction, and I'm even seeing it in terms of chemicals. So whoever this message is for, this is a very beautiful energy, and you're really coming into something very special here. So whoever resonates with this, I wish you the best of luck with this, and until next time.